WLS, Andrea Darlas, Nick Digilio. You know that intro.
Yeah, I've heard
love it.
I've heard it.
All right. So I'm so happy you're here today. This is so much
thrilled
fun.
to be here.
Nick and I are hanging out, filling in for Steve today.
Yeah, he's in Italy.
Yeah, he's going to be calling us at 8:30, but we thought we'd take this opportunity. I love when you're in on Fridays. You tell us what's good, what's not good. I got to say, I like when you have bad reviews. I'm just going to say it. When things aren't good.
Yeah, well, that's the
I
case
love your
this
brutal
week.
honesty.
Yeah, there's only one movie that came out this week.
Which one is it?
It's called Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's based, and I don't, I'm sure there are people in that other room over there that know this more than I do. It's based on a video game that I've never played, don't know.
Yeah.
Do we know this?
Yeah, it kind of became like a small phenomenon a few years ago. Basically, the premise is this. You are a night watchman in a sort of Chuck E. Cheese, showbiz pizza style place that's very run down. And the way the game works is that you have to look at monitors that are set up around this fake pizza restaurant with animatronic animals. And you can only look at one monitor at a time. And you start to realize that the animatronic animals are actually alive and are coming to end your life.
And this is supposed to be scary?
Yeah.
I guess. So I don't know the video game. So you just heard about that. And the movie is a takeoff. They take off from that. And the Josh Hutcherson, who was in the Hunger Games movies.
Oh, yeah.
Is he yummy?
Yes.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess he's yummy. I think he's a little yummy.
Jawline for days.
Wow. Okay. All right. I just know him from because I like this guy, actually. I liked him in the Hunger Games, and I really liked him. He hosted SNL once, and he was fantastic as a host. And I always tend to like people who are good at hosting SNL.
Yeah.
And he was really good. Anyway, he plays the night watchman at this Freddy place where these animatronic monsters. And by the way, they're possessed by the souls of once abused and now dead and kidnapped children.
Oh, God.
What?
And so
bring a weird facet into it.
And then Matthew Lillard is in it. He plays like an employment agency guy who hires him as who hires Josh Hutcherson, the night watchman. And then he has a little sister that he brings in, and the place is haunted with these children's spirits that are going to bring these animatronic monsters to life and kill everybody.
Okay, nothing about this sounds good.
No, it's horrible, and I know that a lot of the people that play the game are younger kids. Like I think they're 12, 13, even younger than that. At the screening that I was at, it was a packed house, and you could hear a pin drop because it was so boring.
Yeah.
There was like a kid who was about 9 years old sitting 2 seats down from me when it was over. He looked at his dad and he's like, "What was that?"
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he was even disappointed. And he played the game. And I do want to mention one thing. I had no idea. You know who's in this movie? I had no idea that she was in this movie. And like, this is the movie where she's kind of like showing up after not being in movies for a long time. Oh. Mary Stuart Masterson is in this movie.
Oh, I always liked her.
I love Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yeah.
And I got very excited, to see. I was like, oh my God, she's in this at the beginning, and then she shows up and she's like the mean old aunt who's trying to take custody away from and they keep referring to her in the movie, and this is a PG-13 rated movie. So even if you want to see like animatronic monsters, like ripping people apart and killing them, like I wanted to see, you're not going to see it because it's PG-13. So not even in that regard, there's like no payoff.
I always liked her. That's a bummer.
But she shows up and she's like the mean aunt. And at one point, the girl's like, "I don't want to live with Aunt Jane. I don't like her at all. She's really mean and she smells like cigarettes." And so I'm watching the movie. For the entire movie, she doesn't smoke one cigarette during the entire movie. And I was like, you can't describe a character as like smelling like cigarettes. There aren't, there's no ashtrays around her. Nothing. Doesn't smoke. And I think people were telling me, well, that's because it's rated PG-13. And now, it's looked down upon to smoke in movies, especially if it's PG-13. Well, then don't describe the woman
as smelling like
cigarettes. So, but
so
Mary Stuart Masterson,
that one.
Who hasn't made a movie in a long time, inexplicably shows up in this. It's not scary. If you want to see a horror movie, it's not scary. I don't know if it's, faithful to the video game because I don't play it. But like I said, a 9-year-old kid who was sitting 2 seats away from me who played the video game, when it was over, said, "What was that?" So a terrible movie, and that's the only big release.
All right, don't see that one, obviously, but Halloween is coming up.
Halloween, yeah.
So we thought we'd ask you what your top 10 horror movies of all time are.
Well, it's weird because I tried to mix it up. And so I'll give you my top 10. I'll go from 10 to 1.
Okay.
Okay. So number 10 is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
From 1982.
Yeah.
Which is, legendary, and I love that. Number 9 is The Dead Zone.
The Dead Zone.
Which I think is the best Stephen King adaptation, David Cronenberg, and it's the best performance to Christopher Walken. He's got psychic powers in that movie. You remember The Dead Zone?
I do remember The Dead Zone. Tom, you need to hop in on these because you probably
Sure.
own all these on VHS.
Actually, I've got a couple on VHS.
Do you?
Yeah.
Number 8 going up is Horror of Dracula. And this is
classic.
the Hammer film. It is a classic. It's a British classic, and this is Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing from 1958. And they took the Bram Stoker novel and they made it really bloody and really technicolored, and there were boobs in it. And I went nuts when I was like 6 and I saw this movie.
And what year is this?
58.
58.
Yeah. So that's Horror of Dracula. Number 7 is The Exorcist.
Oh,
The original.
scariest movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. A lot of people would see, and I backed the third one too. The third Exorcist is pretty great. The Exorcist 3 is really good and really scary.
I only saw the first one.
The third one's great.
Still to this day, my wife Lauren is still. She doesn't really want to be in the room if I watch it.
I'm
You
with
watch
her.
The Exorcist?
Yeah, she was raised super Catholic, good Catholic girl. It really hits in something in people's brains.
Well,
It
listen,
really does.
When that movie came out, in 1973, if you weren't around, people don't really realize. You want to talk about pop culture moments? Oh my God!
Yeah.
The release of The Exorcist is one of the hugest pop culture moments in the history of pop culture. There were people waiting in line for 2 hours. People were passing out. People were getting sick. They had nurses and doctors on call at theaters, and church attendance skyrocketed because people saw it and went, I got to go to church right now because we're all,
absolutely.
And
I didn't see that till I was an adult, and it scared the crap out
My
of me.
dad took me to see it when I was 8 in the theater.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Come
Great
on,
parenting,
son.
by the way.
Yeah, that's my dad. He
Come on,
took me to see it
son.
when I was 8. But yeah, no, The Exorcist. And by the way, if you and you back Exorcist 3, right, Tom?
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's great.
It's great.
Number 6 on my list is Carrie.
Oh, love Carrie.
I
love
love that
Carrie.
movie so much, and it scared the hell out of me when I first saw it. I
Who
still
played
love
the
it.
mom?
Piper Laurie.
who just passed
Piper
away.
Laurie, that's
the late
right,
great Piper
yes.
Laurie. She died a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, she was.
It's a terrifying movie.
Terrifying
The
in
great
that.
Brian De Palma directed that. Okay, my top 5. Number 5, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the greatest movies ever made. And still to this day, terrifying. Number 4, I happen to have my hoodie with me that I'm wearing. Phantasm.
Oh, I love Phantasm.
I know you love Phantasm. That's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well.
Love Phantasm, but it did scare the crap out of me. All right, hold that thought.
Okay.
Because we want to get to Nick D's top 10 horror movies of all time, according to Nick D. Oh, yeah. Some of these just bring back
Yeah.
crazy memories. WLS, Andrea Darlas, Nick Digilio. We are in for Steve Cochran today.
Yeah.
Cochran's going to join us at 8:30. Justin Kaufman's going to be in studio after 8 o'clock. We are talking about the top 10 horror movies of all time, your top 10 horror movies of all time. And go back to Phantasm. Was that 5 on your list?
4. 5
It was
is
4.
5 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
What is it about Phantasm? I remember, that wasn't as big as say like a Halloween or Friday the 13th or a Scream, when you say past horror films, but that really just stuck out in my mind.
Phantasm does have a very passionate and really big cult following. It came out in 1979. Made a lot of money when it came out. It was a very low-budget movie, and it's a very strange movie about two brothers and what happens when they kind of take on this horrifying mortuary mausoleum led by a guy named the Tall Man.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a bunch of little creatures, and there's a silver sphere that flies through the air, jams you in the face, and drills a hole in your head and sucks out your blood. I saw the movie when I was just about 14. It came out.
I saw it when I was young, too.
And the lead character in the movie is a 14-year-old kid, as a boy, who gets to shoot shotguns and drive really cool muscle cars and fight demons and look at boobs. And this was like my dream. I was like, this kid is unbelievable. And I literally saw Phantasm, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating in any way. In the year of 1979, in the summer of 1970 in particular, I saw Phantasm in the theater over 100 times.
Did you really?
Yes.
You'd go and then you'd wait through the
I would go and I would
next
see
sitting?
it. And sometimes I would see double features because I would go see Phantasm. I would see whatever the second movie was, and I'd stay for Phantasm again. And there are 4 sequels. I actually now know the director, Don Coscarelli, pretty well. And it was a seminal movie for me. and I love it. To this day, I could watch Phantasm anytime and just love it. I know every line. It's one of those movies that I know every single line of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's
a good movie.
It's great. It's scary and it's weird and unique and
absolute
and
classic.
It's terrific.
But that wasn't your number one.
No, number 4.
I thought that might be. Okay,
number
four.
3 is Suspiria. Suspiria is this insane Italian film directed by a guy named Dario Argento, and it is as crazy a movie as you can possibly get. It's about a girl. It was remade in 2018 by Luca Guadagnino, and it's about a girl who goes to to Germany and studies at a ballet school, at a dance school, but it happens to be run by a coven of witches.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
I know. Don't you hate that? You
When
expect to
when you
learn
go study abroad.
but-
We want to learn dance, and
but you got to deal with witches and then rooms filled with barbed wire that have no reason to be. But Suspiria and also the incredible score, one of the greatest scores in the history of, and shot in a really intense, bright 3-strip Technicolor, one of the last movies of the 70s to be shot in that way.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a dumb question now. If I want to see something like that, obviously
Suspiria's-
I don't have a VCR, DVD.
Suspiria's
like
out
that.
there.
Okay.
These are all. I mean, these are
They're
pretty
all
easy to find.
findable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird film. It's a weird movie, but.
Okay.
So that's number 3. Number 2, Dawn of the Dead, which is the greatest zombie movie ever made.
Oh yeah.
That's the
does
one.
Tom concur with this?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. This is the one that takes place in the mall.
Yeah.
And I think it's the greatest zombie film of all time. George Romero made it, who is one of the greatest satirists, and I mean, like a satirist on the level of Mark Twain. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
And this is a brilliant satire and also a great horror movie and the best zombie movie ever made.
Okay.
So that's number 2. Number 1.
Number 1. Drum roll.
It's cliched.
Is it Halloween?
It's Halloween.
I knew it. Yay! By the way, I wore my Halloween shirt for you.
I
today.
did. I know. I saw that. I love that. I'm wearing a Halloween 3 shirt.
I know.
The sequel. But no, Halloween, the original Halloween, 1978.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, directed by John Carpenter, Donald Pleasance. It's
is
a perfect
classic.
movie. There should not have been any sequels, and there were 90 of them.
Mm-hmm.
It is an absolutely perfect movie. It's the movie that changed my life. I was 13 when I saw it. And it was the first movie where I realized what a director did. Like, I'd see the names of directors and stuff on movies, and I'd be like, I don't know what that person does.
Yeah.
And I remember walking out of the theater. I saw it at the State Lake Theater.
In Oak Park?
No, in downtown on the Loop.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the Loop. Yeah, it's a Potbellies and ABC.
Yeah.
It's Channel 7.
Right,
and
Baldwin Katz building.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
the Siskel Film School
Is the next building over. Right there.
Yeah.
But that's where I saw it, at the State Lake Theater, and walked out and was like, I looked actively for the director's name. So Halloween, I think, is the best.
Very
It's
good.
the best
I
horror
think that's a
movie.
good one. That's
Yeah.
a very
Now,
good one.
Ernest Scared Stupid didn't enter your
Number
top 10?
that was number 11.
Okay.
That came in number 11.
You know what movie kind of, and you're going to laugh. Now, this is where we might have our third fight. Blair Witch Project.
No, I love it.
Okay, good.
And I know it's a very
At the
divisive
time,
movie. I love it.
I know. I mean, okay, at the time, I mean, I did see it in the theaters, and it scared the crap out of me.
It still scares me. I love that movie.
Yeah,
I back it. I know a lot of people hate it.
Okay, good.
I'm a huge fan of Blair Witch. I'm a huge fan.
Can I ask you a question, just for my own curiosity here? My son loves A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it
that's a
a
good one.
Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
It's both. That's the thing. You can use it for both of them. It's great. I really love that movie too. And you can watch it during Christmas and you can watch it during Halloween. That's like, if you want to cover all your as the holidays are approaching, if you want to watch a movie that covers all the holidays, Trading Places.
Oh, absolutely.
Starts
Love
on
that
Thanksgiving.
movie.
Starts on Thanksgiving. Covers Christmas and New Year's.
Yes.
So it's the excuse to bust out Trading Places from November to January. You can watch it anytime.
You should do it. Is Home for the Holidays? Could that be considered?
That's a Thanksgiving movie.
All right, that's a Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's one, and I watch it every Thanksgiving.
I love that.
I love that movie.
And what's your official position on Die Hard?
Oh, I love it. But I'm weird. I like the second one best.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the second
Would you
one
consider
best.
Die Hard, though, a Christmas movie?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what you're alluding to, right?
Yeah, I think it's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
I do too. You should do, as we get closer
To Christmas.
Yeah, like holiday movies that encompass kind of all the different holidays.
Yeah. No, I would love to do that. But the only one that I can think of that has them all in one package
Is Trading Places.
Is Trading Places.
That still does that movie? You know what? I also want you to do now that we're doing homework.
I got
also
homework
want
to
you
do
to
now. I come in to do the show once, and I got homework now.
Now we have requests. Are you taking a request?
Of course.
Movies that will they still hold up? Will they still hold? Because flashback. We talked about Mary Stuart Masterson in the last segment, and I always think of her for better, for right or for wrong, better for worse. I always think of Some Kind of Wonderful.
Of course, she's amazing in that.
I always think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have made 100 movies since then, but someone always.
Some people think of her for that, and a lot of people think Fried Green Tomatoes too. That's another. That was another big one.
That's another one. There you go. Another movie that made you cry.
Yeah. But now you're saying movies that hold up? That's what
movies that will it still hold up? Like sometimes you watch a movie, and I don't just mean for the past, like they have a landline or
No, I know what you mean.
Phone.
Like that are still good.
Yeah,
years
will
later.
they still be good years
Not
later?
dated.
Yeah. So, and I think Trading Places is one of those.
I think too.
Absolutely.
I agree.
312-591-8900. Andrea Darlas, Nick Digilio in for Steve. Nick, you're getting a lot of calls
What
today.
happened? What did I do?
Rick, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for calling.
I think you know me, Andrea. We played golf during the summertime.
Yeah. How's it going, friend?
Doing great. Hey, Nick, you are my favorite movie person of all time. Don't look now. 1973, Donald Sutherland. What do you think?
One of my favorite movies. Absolutely terrifying. Julie Christie, and I'll tell you what. Steve. We're going to hear Steve. He's in Italy.
Yeah.
Is he going? By the way, is he going to Venice on this trip?
I think that's where he's calling from.
Oh my God!
Today.
So you're calling in about this.
Yeah, the movie takes place in Venice. It's absolutely frightening. Yeah.
Terrifying. It makes Venice like the scariest place on earth. Is because of that. No, I'm with you, man. That movie scared the hell out of me, and I still think it's. You want to talk about a movie that holds up? That's from 1973, and the big controversy about that movie was, did Julie Christie and did Donald Sutherland do it? Because there's a very, you know what I'm talking about, man, right?
Wait, in the movie you're talking about the scene?
There's a very explicit, very intense scene between the two of them, and everybody's like, did they really do it? I think they really did.
What year was this?
73?
Ooh,
74?
Pretty risque for the 70s.
Yeah, still holds up.
No,
All
I
right.
love that movie. Scary.
I'm gonna turn you off and listen to you while I'm in the car. All right, good job.
All right, hey, thanks,
scary
Rick.
as hell.
We appreciate
Scary as hell.
that.
Don't Look Now. Really creepy movie. And you'll never look at Venice the same. I can't wait. Is he in Venice?
He was either on his way to Venice or he's calling us from Venice.
That's fantastic.
I know.
That's
That's if he's running into Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.